Thor is the god of thunder, the strongest warrior in the cosmos. So why is he shaving his beard, squeezing into a delicate white wedding dress, and preparing to walk down the aisle as a blushing bride? To understand the dress, you have to understand his hammer. Mjolnir never misses its target, and it can level a mountain with a single strike. In the 9 realms, this hammer is the only thing keeping the giants from invading the home of the gods. When Thor reached for his weapon one morning and grabbed nothing but empty air, the peace of the world vanished. He tore through his halls, ripping apart furniture and roaring with a rage that shook the heavens. Mjolnir was gone. Thor grabbed Loki, the trickster god, and demanded an investigation. Loki borrowed a magical cloak of falcon feathers and flew into the frozen land of the giants to find out who had managed to disarm the gods. Without that hammer, the giants no longer had a reason to stay on their side of the border. Asgard's front door was wide open, and the gods were suddenly defenseless against an army that could wipe them out by morning. Loki found the thief, Thrym, the king of the ogres. Thrym admitted he had stolen the weapon while Thor slept, but he had buried it 8 miles deep into the frozen earth. No bod could reach it. He set one condition. Thrym would only unearth the hammer if given Freya, the most beautiful goddess in Asgard, as his wife. Freya's response was so violent that her anger literally shook the halls of Asgard, snapping her famous golden necklace in two. She would not marry an ogre, no matter what happened to the city. The gods held an emergency council. They couldn't fight Thrym because they didn't have the hammer, and they couldn't trade for it because Freya refused to go. With no military path and no room for negotiation, the gods had to try something that would force their most prideful warrior into a position of total humiliation. Heimdall, the watchman of the gods, came up with the plan. If Thrym wanted a bride, they would give him one. He suggested Thor wear Freya's bridal dress, put on a thick veil, and marry the giant himself. Thor was horrified. He was the most terrifying god in existence, and he claimed the other gods would spend eternity calling him a coward if he put on a dress. Loki gave him a choice: wear the dress and lose your dignity, or do nothing and let the giants burn Asgard to the ground. Thor gave in. The first step was to shave off his magnificent red beard, the symbol of his status as a warrior. The goddesses then strapped him into a corseted dress and pinned a thick, opaque veil over his face to hide his masculine features. After pinning Freya's repaired necklace around Thor's neck, Loki dressed as a female handmaiden to guide him. The two of them set off for the land of the giants. The fate of the gods now rested on Thor's ability to sit still, stay quiet, and pretend to be a submissive bride. They reached the giants' hall, and Thrym was so convinced by the disguise that he immediately ordered a massive wedding feast to celebrate his new queen. But Thor's appetite almost gave them away. In a single sitting, the bride ate an entire ox, ate 8 whole salmon and all the women's sweets, and 3 barrels of mead. Thrym stared in shock. He had never seen a delicate woman consume that much food in his entire life. Loki stepped in before Thrym could think too hard. He told the king that the bride was so excited to marry him that she hadn't eaten a single bite for 8 days. When Thrym lifted the veil for a kiss, he saw Thor's eyes burning like red fire and jumped back. Again, Loki stepped in, claiming she hadn't slept for 8 days because she was so eager for the wedding. Thrym believed him. Loki's ability to lie on the fly was the only thing keeping the giants from realizing they were sitting next to their greatest enemy. It was finally time for the blessing. According to the old tradition, Mjolnir was brought out from its hole in the earth and laid across the bride's lap to sanctify the marriage. As the cold iron of the hammer touched Thor's lap, his fingers closed around the handle. A deep laugh echoed through the hall. Thor stood up, ripping the veil off his face and shredding the dress as his muscles expanded. In a flash of lightning, Thor swung the hammer. He crushed Thrym's skull with one strike and moved through the hall, clearing the room of every giant who came to the wedding. Thor walked out of the ruins, his white lace dress covered in blood. He had his hammer back, and the threat of invasion was over, but the memory of the dress would haunt him forever. The hammer was back in Thor's hand, but the damage was already done. Asgard's outer walls were still in ruins, and the gods knew it was only a matter of time before another threat arrived. To build a new, impenetrable wall, the gods entered a contract with a mysterious builder who asked for a price they couldn't afford. When the gods tried to cheat the builder to save their money, Loki was forced to commit his most bizarre crime yet: seducing a horse. Click the video on your screen now to see the dark truth behind Asgard's wall.